Hello and welcome to Reading with Miss Sudi. Today I have another spring read because it's spring season right now and spring is one of my very favorite seasons. And it's titled Sarn, the Story of an Otter in the Spring. It's written and illustrated by Tessa Potter and Ken Lilly. One spring evening, Sarn the otter waits for his mother to bring him food. But she has decided to take her young cubs fishing for the first time, and Sarn takes his first tentative steps into the exciting and dangerous world. Let's read and see what happens. Come along with me. Sarn, the Story of an Otter in Spring. Written and illustrated by Tessa Potter and Ken Lilly. We see a map of the land. So we see all the different parts of the landscape. The young rabbits on Burrow Hill were enjoying the spring sunshine. Nearby, a vixen hurried toward her den. She needed shelter because she would soon give birth. She passed close by an old willow where deep in the bank an otter lay sleeping with her two cubs. Evening came and the otter needed to find food. She left her cubs who could not swim yet and slipped silently into the river. She headed downstream to hunt for pike under the old bridge. Sarn, the youngest of the cubs, was the first to wake. He was hungry. He dashed out of the grove, mewing and calling for his mother. The second cub joined him, and forgetting their hunger, they scrambled up the bank and began to play. At last, they heard their mother's low whistle. She climbed the bank, holding a fish tightly between her teeth. Sarn sniffed and pawed at the fish, and the mother tore off small pieces for the cubs. Sarn gulped them down, whining for more and pulling at his mother's muzzle. Gently shaking off the cubs, the mother otter ran off toward the great woods. She called to the cubs to follow closely. She was taking them to catch eels in Willow Pool. The cubs bounded after her, trying hard to keep up. As they passed, they frightened a mole who fled to the safety of her tunnels. They came to a shallow stream. The eldest cub splashed over his mother, but Sarn stood whimpering at the edge. His mother ran on, thinking he would follow. Suddenly, Sarn stopped whining. A dark, terrible shadow was coming towards him. Gliding through the trees, swooping down over the water, Sarn cowered low on the ground, terrified. His mother turned and saw the owl hovering over her little cub. She let out a furious cry. The owl soared away. Sarn's mother ran to him and dragged him across the stream. Now Sarn knew why he must stay close. At last, the three otters came to the pool. The mother slipped into the water, leaving the cubs by the reeds. Sarn stared anxiously after her, frightened now of being left behind. Then something caught his eye on the bank. He saw a frog making its way to the pool. Sarn gave a little excited growl and tried to grab it with his paws. He missed, and the frog hopped into the reeds. Sarn desperately wanted the frog, but each time he pounced, the frog hopped farther away. He splashed after it farther and farther into the shallows. Suddenly, Sarn's feet were no longer touching the bottom. He ran deep into the water. Down and down he sank. He tried to yelp in fright, and water rushed into his mouth when he bobbed up to the surface, spluttering and choking. Frantically, Sarn paddled his paws up and down. He found he stayed afloat, and soon he was moving through the water, no longer afraid. Sarn's mother swam over to him, nudging and stroking him with her nose. She was proud of her cub. He hadn't managed to catch a frog, but little Sarn had learned to swim. Look back at the story. Can you find a burrowing beetle, burying a dead shrew, an earwig standing guard over her eggs, a male mallard swimming on the river, the female is hidden in her nest in the tree, a centipede catching an earwig with its poison claws, an orange sulfur butterfly, a millipede eating a leaf. If it is attacked, the millipede will curl up and give off a foul-smelling liquid, a large diving beetle catching a mayfly nymph, a nuthatch making her nest in an old woodpecker's hole, a mute swan sitting on her nest, a marsh marigold, a bark louse. It keeps its egg in pockets under its body until the tiny babies hatch, a garden snail, a badger out looking for food, a queen bumblebee looking for a hole to lay her eggs in, a dandelion, a trout is caught for food by the otter, an owl hunting, white willow catkins, alder catkins, a fox, a caddisfly larvae in its case of tiny stones and sticks, a dragonfly nymph catching a shrimp, a common dog violet, a mayfly nymph being caught by a diving beetle, a hunting spider catching a woodlouse, a deer hiding in the trees. And that's the end. This fiction read is part of a series of unique picture book from author Tessa Potter and artist Ken Lilly. This read is richly illustrated with wildlife details from spring season and complemented by information that will inspire young readers like you to explore and learn about the wildlife around you. This beautiful read reiterated the fact that spring is truly a lively season and beautiful in all its might. Subscribe to my channel for more beautiful and soulful reads like this. Until then,